Alright, in the last video, I was talking about, um, the intermediate period of, my, DDD experience. Um, so, should be caught up at this point. This is going to be the last time that I go over that sort of, summary. Because I feel like it's getting old at this point. But since we moved on to another topic, I wanted to go ahead and revisit it a little bit. Because there are a few particular issues there that I wanted to go ahead and talk about. So when I went ahead and decided, I'm not gonna um, look for any other people to join my life and whatnot. I needed to deal with my abandonment issues alone somehow, and through the coincidence, hearing Motionless in White and on the radio, and realizing that um, my disorder wasn't my enemy, that the people around me were. They were the people that were teaching me to fight me, to compromise myself, to conform to them. And I just, at that point, I started to make amends with who I was, in both aspects. And that's actually a really, really important point is, although I was looking at it from the standpoint of, okay, let's just do something different. All right, I've been fighting this disorder for a really long time, but I haven't actually embraced my disorder. Why not try that? I've got an abandonment disorder, but I don't have anyone around me that I can utilize in order to combat that abandonment disorder. But because of the way that I experienced my psychological break, um, I and being very in tune, working on this process for as long as I had, I actually had sort of like a split personality thing going on. Not totally. I knew that there were multiple people a part of me that and apart from me that were vying for some level of control, protection, other things. It was kind of fuzzy, but at the same time, like, we knew of each other. We knew what each other was doing, more or less. It just made it very difficult to function in a lot of ways. But because of that relationship, um, I was able to find a partner that I could utilize in order to combat that abandonment. But that was something that I learned later. Something else that I'm learning as I get further into exploring the concept of DDD is that in choosing to go down that route, another thing that I was effectively doing was I was changing the relationship between that borderline personality and my core personality, to where my borderline personality was now able to take care of my core personality more, and my core personality was actually embracing the existence and supporting of my borderline personality. And as such, my borderline personality wasn't having to be out to take the hits from my borderline disorder, and other things, and basically was able to let my core personality come out a little bit more. And the more my borderline personality worked with my core personality, the more my core personality matured and was able to come out more and more and more, and start dealing with other things. And that's something else that I did. I went ahead and decided to change professions. Part of the reason why I chose to change professions is because of the fact that the people at my old job would not let me move on. For all intents and purposes, best way I can explain this, they liked me better back when I hated myself because I was self-sacrificing and I never um, made a lot of ripples, and I always covered for everyone, and I felt like the only good I could do in the world was to serve others, so I served others. But when I realized that no good was coming of that because the people around me were just awful. Um, Maybe people are trying their hardest. I don't really identify much with people anymore. It is almost as though I'm something other than human just because of the fact that I just do not identify with the human species in general at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. Um, and the way that they were trying to care was honestly quite abusive. Um, they wanted me to go back to the way that I was, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go back to the way that I was because I hated myself back then. I was dysfunctional as hell back then. I'm not going back to that. And I resent that you guys keep on wanting me to go back to that, and it eventually got to be too much and I left. um, so I was able to leave that sort of like toxic environment, and there were others. I mean, I'm on job number like 3 or 4 since I left, maybe looking at a fifth. Um, in the last year. So I've been through a lot of changes, but one of the things that that's allowed me to do is this has allowed me to expand and go outward and find new things to try and new things to develop my skills alongside, and different environments. The first one of which allowed me to be basically by myself doing things in isolation, more or less, and working with my hands and doing a whole bunch of things that were really great that I hadn't done before. Um, and Then I got involved in the healthcare arena, and I will never have anything to do with healthcare again. I, I do not like working for for anything in the healthcare field. They're way too anal. And this is really the best word that I can use to describe them. Um, and I'm just not that way. I'm a much more chill, lax person, and it just didn't work out. And I'm never gonna try that one again. That one was hell for me, psychologically. But fortunately, like I said, I went into it having had the previous job, lots of time to myself, lots of time to listen to my music, and control my environment more, and get away from people. And I realized, I really wanted that more, when I decided to go ahead and get a supplemental job before I quit working in healthcare. Working as a dishwasher, and I've been really loving working as a dishwasher, other than the fact that my hours have been short. Um, but and Now I work as a assembly person. I supervise machines. So um, it's loud enough, and we're alone, and once again, I am more in control of my environment. I don't have to worry so much about the human element. I do have to worry about things like getting a bad machine or something like that. Can be very stressful. This current job is psychologically taxing, and I have to be careful not to work too many hours, or definitely too many hours in a row. But in doing so, and in choosing what kind of environments to put myself into, and by exposing myself to multiple different environments, I have also been able to encourage that core personality to grow, and I've worked on switching back and forth between uh, borderline personality and core personality more than I used to, which in some ways has caused quite a bit of dysfunction. In other ways, it has radically increased the rate at which my core personality is adapting to the this world setting that has been more or less sheltered and removed from for so long. And that has been really, really good. Um, Another aspect that I've tried to do as much as I can is to try to support both personalities simultaneously. And I do this mostly through watching videos, especially animation. Both of us really like animation. Core personality more than the borderline personality. But it's a way of once again of bringing that core personality out into the world, and you can I kind of sort of identify the core personality traits simply by understanding the borderline personality traits and examining which things you are choosing to fill your time with that do not revolve around those traits. But in any case, those are just a few items that I wanted to go ahead and mention now that I set the tone for that. And I'm going to go ahead and end this video there. And this next week, I've got an open week because I've got to get my van's transmission fixed. And I will hopefully make a few more videos then. So, see you later.